Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Hello, beloved friends, and welcome to another Divine Lost program on Kardec Radio. We are happy to be here once again, studying the very immutable, immortal laws that shall govern our lives not only now, but throughout our progress as spirits. Let us then begin by reading question 986 of the Spirit's book that addressed this very question of progress. When do we stop progressing? Thankfully, never. Thankfully, God is so gracious and so perfect that God allows for us to keep evolving. And the question that we are going to study together tonight addresses exactly that, our evolution as spirits. Let us then read the question followed by the answer. Then let us propose a therapeutic exercise so as to bring our intellectual understanding of the question also closer to our hearts, and let us end these moments with, of course, thoughts of gratitude to God, the ultimate creator of all of us and the universe. Let us begin. In question 986, Kardec asks, can spirits who have progressed during their terrestrial existence sometimes reincarnate on the same world? Yes, if they have not been able to accomplish their mission and if they ask to complete it in a new existence. However, in that case, it is no longer an expiation for them. So, this question, dear friends, shows us that God always allows for us to progress in the many schools that God has designed throughout the universe. Considering the question we have in mind tonight regarding reincarnating once again in the same planet after having achieved a certain level of progression, spiritually speaking, we come to think of Alcyone in the book Renunciation, psychographed by Chico Xavier and dictated by the Spirit Emmanuel. In this book, we see the case of an already illuminated spirit who, in the beginning of the book, we learn does not live or is no longer directly associated with planet Earth because she evolved spiritually beyond it. She already mastered the virtues that we are to acquire in the school of earth. So she was associated with another planet, or in other words, enrolled in another divine school, a more advanced one. However, because many of her loved ones remained on the earth, especially a particular spirit that was very dear to her heart. She asked for the opportunity to reincarnate yet again on the earth in the school of earth, even though she no longer needed it. And the spirit mentors who lovingly supported support her and guide her, reminded us in the book and her especially that she no longer was required to reincarnate in a planet like Earth, but she explained that even though she didn't need to, she wanted to out of love. And her loving requests were so heartfelt that the mentors from on high, living in another planet in higher spheres than our own, approved her request. And though she experienced what many of us would consider to be great suffering, she was a living example of joy of living, beloved friends. In the most challenging of circumstances, she remained unwavering in her faith, knowing that God is in charge of her life and God is guiding her to the best direction possible. Her example of resilience, of unwavering faith, and of constant hope is an inspiration for us. And she is a living example of the case mentioned in question 986 of the fact that a spirit no longer needing to reincarnate on the earth can do so to complete their mission of love. And because they reincarnate out of love and altruism, of the desire to serve others, beloved friends, they do not perceive the suffering that they experience, be it physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual suffering as such. They remain focused on the on high, knowing that God knows best. What a beautiful, loving example of a spirit we can find in Alcyone in the book Renunciation. We highly recommend that we read excerpts of the book, and if we can, the whole book, to see how Alcyone remained so focused on her mission of love. And this is our destiny, to remain focused on love in its most divine aspects. We can also find the same courage and resilience in the good and in the loving mission to serve others, in the disciples and in our very own Master Jesus, as portrayed in the book 2000 years ago, and in the series Chosen as well. It is clear to us that the early Christians were already very enlightened spirits because they readily accepted the message of the Christ. And even though they might not have needed to reincarnate on earth 2000 years ago, they did so out of love, not only love for God, but love for Master Jesus and also love for all of us. And these examples of love remained 2000 years later and shall continue to remain for all times because love is indeed eternal, beloved friends. So, can we ourselves identify the acts of pure love that God has allowed to manifest in our lives? Not the love that might be passing, but the love that pushes us towards our very own progress and the progress of others through the service of others. Let us then, beloved friends, embrace our very own calling to serve by extending a hand to one another as those who come from on high, like Alcyone and like the first Christians, the workers of the first hours, have done and continue to do towards us. Let us be willing to be more altruistic so that we can feel, we can attune our hearts and minds to the divine love that guides all of our lives. This is the beautiful proposal from on high for you and I, for all of us tonight, beloved friends. Let us then raise our thoughts in gratitude to God, promising ourselves and the loving spirits who guide us all that we shall have eyes that see and ears that hear the signs of divine love and divine protection and divine hope that are ever present in our existences, pushing us forward through the law of progress. What a beautiful proposal for all of us, dear friends. For the time being, then, with our hearts filled with gratitude, we wish everyone many blessings, and we already look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye for now, dear friends.